Hear ye, hear ye. Come on into my palace and join me as I use the new Nomad palette.
Huh?
And that sounded better in my head. Hello and welcome. My name is Rachel if you are new here. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I'm going to be doing 2 looks with the new Nomad Royal Europe palettes. If you do enjoy this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing before you leave if you enjoy makeup content, especially indie makeup. I'm going to put the collection and everything that's on my face in both looks down in the description box. I will also put timestamps if you want to skip around. I will start off talking about the palette, showing swatches, and then get to the looks. So let's get to it. All right, so we have the Royal Europe. I keep wanting to say Haunted Europe because they have a palette called Haunted Europe. Royal Europe, Haunted Europe. Get it straight. So this is the Royal Europe palette. This is going to be launching on Tuesday, March 28th around 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. The price of the palette is $57, and as you can see, there is 2 rows of mattes and a row of multichromes. They are going to be selling the multichromes for $12 each as singles, which I think is awesome. The mattes will not be sold as singles, just the multichromes. As with every Nomad palette, unboxing it and opening it is a whole experience. So with the palette, the unit carton looks like this, which is the same pattern, but the actual palette itself is textured, gives the look of like just really, really pretty mosaic almost. And the same like print is on the unit carton. And then when you first open up the package, you always get a postcard. It looks like Royal Mail. Okay, we're feeling fancy. And it says, inauguration of the newest Nomad palette by command of the royal family. The Earl Marshal is directed to invite you, our special community member, to be present at the reveal of the most recent launch in the Nomad Cosmetics Destination Gallery on this day in the year 2023. And then the owners have a little thank you. The destination from Versailles to Buckingham, a collection of royal palaces and castles span across Europe, each full of family jewels, palatial rooms, and heirlooms of bygone eras. Uniquely different in their expansive estates, imposing architecture, and precious treasures, they are all impressive destinations that create a sense of awe and inspiration. The color story, jewels and gems fit for a royal collection of 10 luxurious mattes and opulent jewel tones of amber, emerald, sapphire, amethyst, and ruby, highlighted by 5 dazzling new multichromes that add a spectacular, ornate touch. And usually with their palette, they do donate to a special cause, and the cause this time is we are proud to support UNESCO World Heritage Center that protects and preserves precious heritage sites around the world. So I love the detail. I always keep these postcards. If you buy Nomad palettes, do you keep the postcards too? Am I the only one? I really do. I keep them all. I love the color story with the theme. They always do a great job with that. The palette itself is a perfect size for me. I love this amount of shades, and I love that they're doing multichromes. I think it's so fun. I did receive this palette in PR. This video is not sponsored, and I would have bought this with my own money. I was planning on it if for some reason I did not receive it in PR. Let me know down in the comments. Are you planning on picking up this palette? Are you going to skip on it? Are you waiting for reviews? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I love to hear from you. And let's get on to look number 1. I will see you back at the end to give you some of my initial thoughts. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to do my first look with the new Nomad Royal Europe palette. I think today I'm going to do a more neutral look with these 3 shades over here, and the look I do next will be a little more dramatic because I always love to do a neutral look if I can. I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to go into this shade up here, which I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce, but it's this one up here. The embossings in the pans are so beautiful. Always with Nomad, like I hate that first dip because I'm scared to ruin it. That's a lot of kick up in the pan there. And I've already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, by the way. So I'm literally just going to run this through the crease. I love a warm brown transition shade. All right, now I'm gonna go into Neptune Fountain, this more neutral brown matte, and I'm gonna place this in my outer corner. I have not watched anyone else's review on this palette, by the way. I usually don't. if I know I'm going to be reviewing a palette, so I wonder what other people are saying about this. So these mattes are very, very pigmented, like extremely pigmented, and a little bit more fallout than I'm used to. Okay, if you've been here before, you know I usually use the NYX Glitter Primer underneath any shimmer shade. But something that's really exciting about this palette is all 5 of these are multi-chromes. And I did swatch some of these because I did a reel outside this morning, and they feel like that really smooth multi-chrome. They're not like textured or chunky. And I find with shades like this, or like the Adept Heather Austin palette, where they're like very creamy, very smooth, I find for my eyes personally, if I use a glitter primer underneath them, it makes it almost too emollient to the point where they crease. So I'm not going to use a glitter primer today. I'm just going to go right in with Imperial Crown right here, which is like a gold to green. Really, really beautiful. I'm so excited that they have these in this palette. Really pretty. Now these definitely aren't as creamy as the Adept ones. They are like almost like a cream to powder type of feel, which is nice if you are more prone to creasing. I don't feel like these are gonna crease as easily. They're still super smooth. Okay, I am back. I went off camera. I put on the rest of my makeup. Everything else I'm wearing on my face, I will link in the description box below. And I have to say, I've used this a handful of times, this foundation, the Joa Perfect Complexion BB Cream. It looks so beautiful on the skin. I just have insanely sensitive skin. Like I break out so easily, and I can already feel my chin, like the pores being clogged, and like it hurts really bad. I'm gonna have to wash this off as soon as I'm done with this video, unfortunately. But if you don't have sensitive skin and you like a medium coverage, like not matte, not dewy, just like that perfect in between, it's absolutely beautiful. I have the shade Nude, and it's like literally a perfect shade match for me. I will link it down below. I will link everything else I have on my face down below as well. Something else I did off camera, I brought that first transition shade up a little too high for my liking because I used a pretty fluffy brush, and this shade is very, very like powdery. It's pigmented. So I just took a shade from a Blend Bunny palette that's like a creamy color, and I blended like the top edge of it into my brow just to like bring it down a little bit. It was at like a 10. I needed it at like a 7. But let's continue, shall we? So let's do the lower lash line. I'm gonna go back into the palette. I'm gonna go into Neptune Fountain, that neutral brown, with a little flat definer brush. I'm gonna pop it in, and I'm gonna spray it, okay? Because there was a lot of fallout, and I don't want that underneath my eye. And I'm just gonna push this up against my lower lash line. Whoa, look how pigmented that is. I bet as a liner, this would be beautiful. I'm gonna take a pencil brush from Blend Bunny. I'm gonna go into this first Schönbrunn Palace. I know I said that wrong. And I'm gonna smudge it out. I'm just gonna be very careful tapping off the excess. Look at that. Whoop. Just smudge that out a little bit. And since there's nothing in here really that I want to use as an inner corner shade, I'm going to go into the Blend Bunny All Done Up palette, and I'm going to take the matte white Knockout and put that into my inner corner. I know it's cheating. Sorry. I'm going to go into ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Sunnyvale. I'm going to put this in my waterline. All right, I'm back, and this is the finished look. I love a good neutral look, as you may know if you've been here before. And this is just a beautiful neutral look that's interesting, right? I love it. I love it. There are a couple things I want to say right off the bat. The first thing is I really love how they've set this palette up in columns. You can really stick to a column and create a look. I mean, it's very, very user-friendly. Of course, you can mix and match. I think it's really cool that you can use the columns to create looks and they make sense. So I love that. The other thing I wanted to say is I went away from the big light that is in front of me here, and I looked at the shimmer shade. This is such an interesting multi-chrome formula. I don't know that I've ever seen something quite like this. I kind of described to you that it's not textured or anything, but it's not as emollient as a lot of ones that I've tried before. And there is a little bit of like a little twinkle sparkle to it, but it's very like barely there, but it's still there, but it doesn't feel textured and it doesn't feel like it's gonna fall out, even though I didn't use a glitter primer like I said earlier, but it does have like a fine glitter particle, or I don't know if I just want to say glitter, but very fine sparkle to it while still being smooth without being too emollient or creamy. It's like a cream to powder type feel. Very beautiful, very, very different. I will say the mattes, at least these two that I used, are very pigmented and very powdery, like a lot of kickback in the pan, so proceed with caution, okay? Now I've only used 3 shades in the palette so far. I have to keep using the other ones. I am gonna do another look that you'll be seeing coming up, but I will continue testing this palette and put it in a palette ranking in the future. But yes, I'm happy with this look. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So now I'm gonna send you off to look number 2. Okay, so I am going to go on to look number 2. You know I wanna try these purples. And this multi-chrome Royal Treasure looks so gorgeous. It looks really, really shifty. So I definitely want to use that one today. I think I want to incorporate like this quad of mattes over here. Now, in between the first look and today's look, I did actually do swatches, and holy moly, these mattes are crazy pigmented. Crazy pigmented. So yeah, just be aware of that. Like I definitely think I maybe went in with too large of a brush yesterday, and I kind of explained how I fixed that situation, but today I'm gonna go in with a little bit smaller of a brush to start with my first shade. So this one is just from Wet n Wild in the Saved by the Bell collection, but it's still a blending brush, but it's a lot smaller. I'm gonna go into Pena Palace. I'm obviously not cultured in the castles of Europe. I've already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I'm gonna tap it off, and I'm really gonna think about just placing it first. Wow, that is insanely pigmented. Hey, sweetie. So cute. So that was way better of a choice in terms of the size of the brush. So my advice would be to go in with a little bit smaller brushes. You can always add more. It's harder to take product away than it is to add more. And with that smaller brush, that worked just beautifully. My hair is absolutely crazy today. That worked out just wonderfully. So now I'm gonna go in with an even smaller, more dense pencil brush. I'm gonna go into the Ballroom right here, which is this really pretty purple. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot. I kind of wanna put this just lower, just incorporate a little bit more purple. Yeah, that's super pretty. It is a little bit deeper, especially because I'm using such a dense brush. I do feel like it is providing depth, but I'm really just trying to keep this super low. Wow, that's extremely pigmented. One eye always looks so much better than the other. Like my right eye always just cooperates so much better. Anybody else have that same experience where one eye is easier to work with than the other? Okay, so yesterday when I did my look, I did not use the NYX Glitter Primer because I was afraid the shimmer was gonna be too emollient. But like I said, which you already know, it's a little bit more of like a cream to powder. So today I am gonna use the glitter primer just to see like how it works with it. So I'm just gonna first apply that with my finger to my lid. And by the way, when I go in with the NYX Glitter Primer, I put a very thin layer. I don't put a ton because then it will definitely make my shimmers crease. So just a very thin layer, enough to just get a little stick to it. Now I'm gonna go in with Royal Treasure, this like such beautiful, very strong shifting green to purple. It's like green, purple, copper. Oh, so pretty, very pretty. Now I definitely think putting that glitter primer down already I can tell is making it pop a little more. That's good, I like that. That is a beautiful shade. I'm not gonna do a wing, but I would like to line my upper lash line with that deep purple called Buckingham Palace. I know how to say that one. I'm gonna pick it up on an angled brush and I'm going to spray it. And I'm just gonna line my upper lash line with this color. All right, I am back. Everything else that I have on my face, I will link down in the description box below, but let's finish up the lower lash line. I wanna go in with Great Hall right here. I'm gonna put that on a flat definer brush and spray the brush and push it up against my lower lash line. I'm gonna take a little fluffy brush. I'm gonna go into this shade up here and I'm gonna just run that along my lower lash line as well, just really tapping off the excess big time. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera. I'm just gonna finish up the little finishing touches and I will be right back to show you the final look. I know, buddy. Oh, what's up? All right, I'm back. Listen, this look went from 0 to 100 real fast. Real fast. I just got carried away. Listen, I love it though, actually. What do you think? I'm feeling like royalty with my gems, right? In this purple look. Ooh, yes. I actually have been playing around. I mean, I didn't do anything too crazy. I drew a line with this new water activated liner palette from Unearthly. I've been trying to have some fun with it, trying to use it. I'm not super creative, okay, but I'm trying to do something different. So I love the look. I enjoyed using the palette. Let me give you some immediate thoughts. I've only used this twice. I haven't used all of the shades, and I will continue to use all the shades, put this in a palette ranking in the future. But my initial thoughts. I think this palette is gorgeous. Color story wise, it totally makes sense, right? These jewel tones for Royal Europe. Love it. And they always do a great job, in my opinion, with their color stories. They make sense, they're different, they're fun. So if you like jewel tones, automatically I think you would be attracted to the palette itself. The mattes are extremely pigmented, way more pigmented than any Nomad palette I've tried before. And with that being said, there's quite a lot of fallout. Now, it doesn't bother me because I do my eyes first, but if you do your face makeup first, just be aware of that. You might have a little bit of fallout with these matte shades. I've already said, the column thing where you can stick to a column. It makes it a little bit easier in my mind. You know, like I said, I'm not the most creative person. It does help me out. And then these shimmers are extremely beautiful. The second time I did use my glitter primer, and I think the glitter primer definitely makes it look a little bit more bam. And because they're not super, super, super emollient, I don't feel like they're really gonna crease on me. So I'm very happy with this. I love that they've added multi-chromes, and I love that Nomad, you know, it may be a good thing or a bad thing. In my mind, it's a good thing. I feel like they mix it up. Every time they do a palette, they put something that's unexpected. Their formulas vary. Sometimes they have subtle shimmers, sometimes they have multi-chrome, sometimes they have really super wet metallics. You know, they really do mix it up. And this matte formula is definitely different than ones that I've tried in the past from the brand. Very pigmented. Go in with smaller brushes, I would say, and kind of slowly build them up. But very, very beautiful palette. Really enjoying this. I'm super excited to continue using this through the spring. These jewel tones give me saturated spring vibes. And then the actual packaging is really pretty. They do a great job with packaging every time, and it's got this textured front. Ooh, just really, really gorgeous. That's all I have to say. Let me know your thoughts. Are you gonna pick up this palette? Are you gonna skip out on it? Have you tried Nomad before? Have you not tried Nomad before? Please let me know your thoughts on the palette, and thank you to Nomad for sending this over to me. I really appreciate it. I would have bought this palette myself anyway, just so you guys know. I'm gonna be doing a Nomad palette ranking soon. Let me know if you want to see that. Give this a thumbs up if you want to see it. Leave me a comment, but I think that's in the works soon. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, both beauty and fashion videos, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.